Oh shit. Oh wait, I'm live already. Damn, that's I didn't even mean to do that. Is this live? Oh yeah. Oh, I resolved my, we'll say, issue. Watching now. Let's see here. Susan, the pain. Welcome to chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community. He's back. Yeah, I resolved my issues. We're good. Now I will start getting into it. I kind of want to get rid of those douchebags. If you read my description, if you want to get bored. So, one of the things I want to work on is uh, for kicking. I'm a little bit lighter now, so I'm working on practicing leaving my feet, which is like basically so you got a teep, right? Well, you want to like jump teep, things of that nature, and of course, yeah, this is like this would be like a 6'5" or head. So it's like working arm tax kick. So one of the things, old age and treachery will beat youth and talent for about 60 seconds. And most of the guys, when I'm sparring, like hard sparring, they have no idea that I could kick straight over my head practically. I get them every time with it. The problem is once I hit that once, they're like, oh, okay, that's not going to work again. So, um, yeah, everything got resolved. uh, I gotta be honest with you, like my normal jovial bulletproof self, that was, it's not that the comments were bothering me. I don't get upset with people talking shit about me. I just didn't, I don't have my mojo, I'm not making comebacks. I'm like, yeah, I just want to deal with it. It's like work. Mixed martial artist, hell yeah. Yeah, all the time I wish to become like a 6'8", 6'10", it definitely would be weird fighting most. You know how you said you probably hit harder than me, and I said there's no fucking way. You might. You're a big dude. Um, yeah. See that? There's my. I'm not with it tonight. My normal snappy, shitty sarcasm is. Dude, I have so much going on in my life. I'm not gonna turn this into a bitch session. I'm not a fucking victim, but I'm just like feeling a little beat up. It's because when I had my boxing bag, I was teaching myself. I offered to teach you, and you wouldn't take me up on it. So from a just purely cardio standpoint, um, I'll set a timer and hit the bag for like a minute to 3 minutes. You do like pyramids, like one up to 10, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10, and then back down to 1. And you set a timer, and you try to get that in like a 3-minute session. You're gonna be torched, and you'll never run on a treadmill ever again, ever. Um, so even if you don't want to fight, you have no intention of learning how to whatever, it's great cardio. It's awesome. I learned from Mike Tyson online. So when I was boxing, I guess I'm not gonna. The problem is you got your peekaboo. This will get you in a clinch, knee in the face. So it's a bad habit to start slipping. That year of boxing really fucked me up. But what I really liked about Tyson is he was a master of hitting from any angle, and he would often he would come in and like bam. He's I'm still out of practice with it. Let me think here. He would like switch his feet. Bam. Yeah. Bam. You ever see the way he snaps around people? Oh, he'd come in and he's like boom, tap. He would jump under like around him, and then just take them out. They're all like they're over here, like, oh, where we go? Yo, that's a badass move. Boom, bam. And then we just whip under, but he'd be like around the back of it. That's what this one was for. This bag right here that moves. This is a heavy bat. I have to put gloves on. I'm not. The only thing I'm allowed to do with this arm is crosses. Well, again, I would get this thing going, go to the end, and when it would come, well, it used to come back. Ooh. So it like snap around it. And then of course the slip bag. This is a little high because I've got it wrapped up there because I use this for foot drills too. I'll just kind of like just tap it, just play like games with it. Blink, blink, whoa. Working on balance. We get both. Oh, I'm a little rusty. Just practice hitting it. It's harder than it looks. It doesn't look that impressive. Oh, missed it. You can put like sachets in there. Run a slap it, but yeah, I would just sit there and just kick that for just balance. But for boxing, you would use it to come off the center line. It'd have to be a little lower though. I have to lower it. Use that a lot in the Ghost Rhino. It's good. It's doing okay. I benched 315 for 4 the other day. I can hit crosses. I can punch straight. I'm not allowed to do hooks yet because it shocks the bicep. The only sex offender I'm aware of who is somehow universally loved. You know, this is what I'll say about Mike Tyson. He's universally loved because he's absolutely a changed person. He's not the same as he was. And the thing about it is, that whole sex offender thing, I mean, he really had the mentality of a child, and he was surrounded by people that did not have his best interest in mind. Had Cuss been alive, he would have never gotten married to her. Was he married to her? Remind me again. But they took advantage of him. They stole all of his money, bled him dry, ruined his training, ruined his legacy. You were literally looking at possibly the greatest boxer that ever lived had Cus D'Amato lived another 10 years. And now he's considered one of the fiercest boxers that ever lived, and we'll never know. We'll never know how good he could have been. I used to watch I still watch his earlier fights, man. People that don't know boxing would say that he was a brawler. And it's like, no, he was a master. His footwork was impeccable, like hard to mimic. He would do this thing where, he would come in and he always had his head moving, but he would literally like he would launch himself, and it'd say the guy parried, and like I said, he did that footwork where he would come behind him, and he could like hit from any angle. So any angle, any foot, he hit just as hard with his left and his right. He generated all of his power from his waist. So like for Muay Thai, mostly you generate your power by switching your weight. You got your waist. So there's this lever, which is 1 speed, 2 speed. Now you're accelerating your arm. So 1, now 2, and now 3 at your waist. And now you shift your weight, you put all that together, and you now quadrupled force generation. And Tyson had this uncanny ability to hit like a truck without having his feet planted. And then if he did have his feet planted, you're fucked. And he would use his whole body to launch him It's just amazing. Yeah, I mean, he was basically both-handed. In the future, when I start trying to master hybrid boxing, I'm going to need that skill. Paul Mayorkin, the guy I trained under, was a Mexican boxer, and he had me keep the peekaboo style just because it just worked for me because of I guess you could say like my attributes, because of my lateral movement was pretty fast. And I'm what's called cross dominant. I'm not right or left handed. I do some things with my right, some things with my left. I write with my left. I'll throw a football with my right. I can shoot a basketball both handed. And I could jump off of either foot as my lead. You ever notice like you'll see guys, they run up to do a layup and they'll start left, right, and then up, or right, left, up. I can do either. So guys can shoot left-handed, but they can't switch their lead leg. And I also would jump off of both legs. So when I played junior college basketball I think I was 5'8" at the time, I could get my forearm over the rim, and I was dunking. I played 1 year of first Marine Division team. That's how I blew my knee out the first time. So, Ghost Rhino, on that note, I think the number one, so we were talking about functional training for fighting. You see those guys, they do like they hold the little weights and they punch. Like, people should be doing squats, heavy fucking squats, as heavy as you can. Heavy bench, heavy whatever. Like, the barbell compound lifts are what's going to get you strong. And they're like, it's not using the same fast twitch muscles. Like, okay, there's a reason why Mayweather never fought Tyson. You know what I mean? Like, fast twitch, that's all training. So you could take a guy that's muscular, like a Foreman, Evander Holyfield. He was pretty ripped. Let's see who else was big. All those guys, like, they're huge muscular dudes, but they train. The quickness gets from your training. Like, before I learned my technique for kicking, like twisting the hips properly, bringing the whole body through, my leg strength didn't do shit. But once I incorporated that, when I was squatting 600 for reps, dude, I kicked like a fucking mule. I would hit that 200-pound Muay Thai bag at the gym, and I would launch that fucker, and guys were like scared. That was all from squatting. Like, I haven't trained in a while, so my squats have probably gone down. I could probably do 400 for 5 right now, maybe 500. I don't know. I'll get back up to 600 pretty quick. But I've noticed my kicks aren't as hard. So that's all squat strength, and squats are like the broccoli of exercises. There's not one single sport I can think of that squats won't improve. And then if you add, like, you see these guys punching with these little weights. Well, first of all, this is gravity. You're generating force that way. Why are you wearing your shoulder out? What you're trying to do is put resistance along the kinetic chain, right? Well, what is that? What do fucking bench press, barbells, or dumbbells, whatever, like, bam, fire it off your chest, low down, bam. Heavy fucking barbell lifting, and that's what I've been trying to get. The Muay Thai gym I go to, I've been professing that. I'm the first power lifter he's had in there, and he does a lot of the landmine workouts where you take the landmine and you do the lifts with it. That's perfectly fine. If you have a landmine, that's great, awesome exercise. Overhead presses. I was like, fuck that, man. Get power cleans. Like, get these deadlifts, squats, bench press. Get some fucking weight on these guys. And your little dudes, too. Well, I don't want to get them all big and ripped. Bro, do you think this is easy? You just get fucking big? This is 10 years of work, asshole. You won't get big unless you eat. You can't, we still obey the laws of physics, so you can't rewrite that. So if you don't add matter, you're not going to create matter, right? So you don't eat, you're not going to get big, no matter how much you lift. But you take these little power lifters that get strength in their weight classes, and they're literally lifting 4 times body weight. Fuck yeah, man. That guy's, if he give him technique and you put him in some sparring and he gets a couple of some combat under his belt, he's gonna fuck people up. Medicine balls are good. So, for core work, yeah, we do want to work the transverse plane. That's something that you don't really get a lot of from barbell lifting. But if you're doing heavy squats, heavy deadlift, overhead press, rows, that's all core strength. So you will get a nice strong core. Yeah, Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall barely has technique, and he's starting to look good. He's actually starting. I would be terrified. And without any technique, didn't he hit that fucking meter thing and like break all the records in one punch? Well, he hit him. I think he had to hit it like. I watched that episode. I think he fucked his hand up. Did you see that fight where he fought those two dudes? That was the funniest fucking shit ever. The one guy, he ran into his cross and he fucking looked like he killed him, and then he took that guy and threw him, and then he fought Pujowski, whatever it was, and he took him and threw his ass. That was epic. Hey, big dudes with mohawks are the final bosses. Hell yeah. Let's see. Big dudes with mohawks are the final bosses of queers. Cody. Yeah, probably. You trying to say I'm gay? Don't tell my wife. Shh. I don't know how to be insulted by that. Like, what if I was gay? Like, that just makes you a dick. Like, you got a problem with gay people, Cody? I kind of wish I was queer. Because then, after I slap you around like the little bitch you are, you could say you got beat up by a fairy. So Eddie Hall's got a score of 209,000. Yeah, I have that episode. The Master and the Fool. One is the same, and understanding both is great. The Jack of all trades is better than Master of none. Ghost Rhino. So I've always been that guy. I've always, I play the drums mediocre. I was a kickboxer, but I trained 4 days a month. Painting, I was a professional illustrator, but I just couldn't hone. So the first time I said I wanted to master something, so I actually became a carpenter and I mastered that. I would say my magnum opus was a house that we did here in Vegas where I did a spiral staircase that's called a freestander. It has no supports. The spiral is the support. We had to do a lot of math, and that it was $110,000 to put that staircase in, and that was when we're doing transitions with handrails, the piece that goes down, it's depending on the grade of the stringer, it would transition into the other one, and there's no piece that's made that transitions that twist, that bend and twist. So we would have to carve it. We'd put a piece of wood in between the railings and literally carve it, and you would want it to match it so it looked like it was the same profile as the router put out. And I was one of two people that could do it. I tried to teach people and they just couldn't. So I would say I did master carpentry. I do a lot of furniture restoration. It's like a real art. It's something I put a lot of time and effort into. And then I realized, being a jack of all trades is awesome, but I think everybody should try to master something. So now what I've been doing is I'm still doing all the stuff. I paint Warhammer. I do gunsmithing. I play the drums. I like to go rock climbing. I'm a power lifter. I'm like, whatever. I try to pick one thing and master that. And recently it's been painting Warhammer figurines. And let me see if I have an example of a finished one. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm still here. So my first few looked like they were painted with latex. They literally looked retarded. The paint was slathered on. They looked horrible. But I'm getting good enough to where I'm going to be able. I think I'm going to enter a competition. This is called Tabletop Plus. There's more detail we could put on it, but I think that guy looks badass. That's Vulcan Heastan. He's the forge father of the Salamanders. And there's one of the Terminators I did recently. I guess this lighting's not that great, but I'm getting really good at painting. But for the longest time, I couldn't get the eyes down. The lightning claws. like the paint, all my earlier ones, the paint just looked thick, and didn't look like real. And like, look, check that guy's helmet out if you can see it. Where's the camera? Let's see if we can get some light. Like, look at the eye detail. Now I'm running into one obstacle though, and I also started using airbrush recently. Got the jets here. I am starting to lose my eyesight, so I gotta wear glasses. I'm like, ugh, so I'm mastering this, and then I want to master the drums. I think I've taken powerlifting as far as you can go, really. I've been in the top 3 ranked in the world for the last 5 years. I placed silver at Worlds twice. The guy that beat me is this Russian that's on some sort of super soldier serum, and he's got an 800-pound deadlift and an almost 500-pound bench. And it's like, I'm not going to catch that guy. I've been consistently ranked number 2 because of that douchebag. He's actually a good friend of mine. But he hasn't turned 50 yet, so now I'm in a different age bracket. And just entering that, I competed, and I didn't really even do that great at the competition. I got ranked number 1 right off the bat. So if I can get into the 1700 total, my highest in competition was a 1650. I have a McCulloch score of 510. All my lifts are international elite. I am one of the best masters over 40 lifters in the world, and I think I'm top 40 in. I looked up how my ranking was historically for both my weight class and all weights, and I might have to go back and look at that. So if you go to a open powerlifting or a powerlifting watch, and you do a search for masters 50 and over, 220 weight class, all federations, it doesn't matter because I'm so high, I outrank everybody in every federation, so you don't have to search for the USPA. 220 weight class with raw. I do sleeves. If you do classic raw or equipped, I won't come up. But you do raw, I should come up, and I think I'm ranked. Still, currently, I think. No, yeah, no, I should be top 5 at least. I didn't get to compete because of my my arm getting blown off. But when I turned 50, I did get to compete once. And it was a subpar. I mean, I think I hit like a 1,600-pound total. I was dehydrated. I didn't get the numbers I wanted, but I still finished the competition with the highest score of the meet. My old ass shouldn't be finishing any meet with the highest score, and I did. If I can get into the 1700s, I will probably make the Hall of Fame for the USPA, and I'll be top 10 all time. And that's up there with guys like Stan Efferding, Ed Cohn, what's that guy's name? The barbell, the fucking kabuki bars. Chris Duffins. Now, 2 of those guys were one of the. There was like 3 people in history that had over 1,900 pounds, and those 2 do. There's like 3 or 4 people that had over 1,900. There's maybe 5 to 7 that had over 1,800, and then you go to like 11 that had over 1,700. And then I think it cuts off at 20, the 1600s, and then it just goes down from there to the next 10,000 lifters. So it drops off. It really drops off. So anybody that's over like 1,600 pounds, you're up there with the very best all time. Because guys at 50 just don't do that. And it doesn't matter how much drugs you're on either. People are like, that's just steroids. I'm like, it's not, really. You can do a lot of steroids. There's not that many lifters out there. So right now I'm at the edge of outlier. Like I'm knocking on the door of like all-time greats, but I'm not there. I'm just I think I need to put another 100 pounds on my total, and I can legitimately say, what's the point? The point of this is I think I've taken powerlifting as far as it can go. If I can come back from this and get all my strength, and I have a legitimate shot of breaking those records, because that will give me the national records as well, I would then absolutely do it. But if I can't get it, I'm not gonna turn myself into a science project. So then what do you want to do from there? Well, I've been training Muay Thai, and I've never really dedicated myself to it because it was auxiliary to powerlifting. I think it really benefits the sport because of the flexibility, the joint, the mobility. ankle mobility, knee mobility, everything. It's just cardio. It's awesome. But what if I just took 6 months and just did nothing but that? 51 years old. I can hold my own, usually for about 2 rounds. And then I'm toast. Like, if I don't get him in the first 60 seconds, I'm fucking getting my ass beat. They call me the world's strongest punching bag. So goddamn, that boy can take a hit. But my speed always catches people off guard. So like initially out of the hole, like right off the bat, they're not like, because we spar at like half speed, and half the time we're not really going that fast. So if I'm actually in there like for real, they are always caught off guard. But those younger guys are really good, and some of them are professionals, and they they counter me pretty goddamn quickly. Oh man, I get one guy fucking. Oh man, I get my ass kicked a lot, but I love it though. I was just like, man, what if I could just like fucking do that, you know? And then there's a couple leagues where it's over 50, right? I mean, then it comes the question of like, do I really want to be getting brain damage at the age of 50? Why is my computer not working? What the fuck's wrong with this piece of shit? Plugged in. Oh, somebody bumped the plug. Okay, hold on, guys. What sets you free? Me, baby. Well, here's a good example. Here's one of the ones I painted a while ago. I'm gonna strip the paint on this guy, and then you put him up to this one, and it's like night and day difference. I don't know if you guys are into this stuff. You probably can't really see with the lighting, but this just looks like someone shit all over it, and this one actually looks. So I'm gonna enter a painting competition. Will I win? I don't know, but I think that I would be respectable. I'm starting to get okay at drumming. I guess the point we were talking about is it's like being a jack of all trades is cool, but everybody should master something. You should take something and just pour all your passion into it. And we were talking about that at work. Like a lot of times we get stuck doing shitty jobs we don't like to do. And, you know, obviously if you can do something that you love to do, you're blessed. But life has a way of stripping, you know, familiarity breeds contempt. And when I was an illustrator, I absolutely love drawing. I could do it all day, all night. But once I had to do work, once I had to do your artwork, I didn't like doing it anymore. It became an actual job. I lost my passion for it. So we all have to eat. We all have to provide for our families, and a lot of us do stuff we don't really like to do. But what I always tell guys is, if you can't do what you're passionate for, bring your passionate to what you're doing. Bring your passion to what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, make it kind of like the Japanese, what is it, Bushido or Shintoism. You know, everything is done with passion, whether you like it or not. You know, you make it art by bringing your best. Even if you're like a lowly whatever, you know, janitor at a grade school, cleaning toilets. Like, god damn it, those toilets, they're gonna be fucking beautiful. You know, not a pubic hair in sight. And that's kind of the antidote for getting through that shit, because you learn, by making it art, you take pride in it. I never wanted to do construction. I did it for 20 years. So the only way I could live with myself was to make it an art. Let's see, 5252. Oh shit, 255. And then the other thing I regret doing is, when I would get comfortable, I wish I'd have taken more chances. You know, I passed up a lot of opportunities because the familiar was, even though I wasn't happy or content where I was at, I had that security. You know, I didn't want to take chances and risk messing it up. And they always say, like, the universe has a way of pushing you if you won't push yourself. And look what happened. You know, I think I was a really good employee, and all I did was try to do the right thing, and I got fucking fired unceremoniously. They didn't give a fuck about my job performance or anything. All they cared about was that I could possibly rat them out for committing insurance fraud. And What they don't realize is like now I'm gonna for sure. Like I'm getting a lawyer. Like, that wouldn't have happened if they wouldn't have done that. But um, the point is like I wasn't really that passionate or happy about what I was doing for a living. But it was a job that was. It's a respectable job that you could hold your head up high and say, well, like I'm upper management in a large construction firm. And, that. What do you do at the dinner party? You're like, oh, what do you do, Charles? Okay, here we go. I always, actually, in that situation, I always downplayed it. I would say like, oh, I just work construction. I'm just a fucking slob. And then my wife would be like, no, you're not. Tell them what you really do. Yeah, like, all right. I'm trying to open up the chat on this thing because these letters are too small. I can't read. So, Red Rum, are you on TRT? A little more than that. I just started a. It's a cycle, but it's kind of a cruise. I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not training for competition, so I don't want to do anything too aggressive. But I take what's called DHB, and I think for older lifters, it's an outstanding. The go-to for a lot of guys is like Winstrol or Masterone, and I don't really care for those. I think DHB's got a lot of the same qualities that something like Tren has without the side effects, and you can cruise on a really small amount. So I'm on about 200 milligrams of Sustanon, so that that's about 50, I don't know, 20 to 50 milligrams more than you would probably get from a prescription. And then with a little bit of nandrolone, test-DACA, and that's for healing, and yeah, DHB. I get really, really good results from that, and I can use a really small amount. So I basically take half a cc a week, and I split that up. So 2 insulin needles filled with 0.25 every 4 days. And if I want to start training super hard, I'll bump that up. So I might go double that amount. Then when I train for competition, usually about 8 weeks out, I'll add something like Anadrol, and I'll up the testosterone a little bit. But guys will do like 500. I don't think you need to. Like when I get my blood work done every 2 months, I try to shoot for that like 1,300 range. And I know guys are trying to get to like 2,500. And I think there's diminishing returns, and that's where you start really, really getting into health issues, or it could become risky. What I'm on, I think that as long as you're monitoring your what the fuck is wrong with this piece of shit? As long as you're monitoring your organ markers, the things that are associated, cholesterol, triglycerides, that kind of thing, creatine in the urine, protein. Okay, here we go. If those numbers are in range and you're working with a doctor, and I think you can mitigate the risk, and I will say that the quality of life, being able to do what you want to do at a high level at the age of 51 is fucking awesome. And I would never apologize for it, ever. Um, I think that people that demonize it, it's kind of an all or nothing conversation. It's very low resolution. Why is this not opening? All right, this thing's starting to make me angry. Open sesame. There we go. Maybe it might be time for a new laptop. I think old Bessie here is starting to. I think we need to take her out back and put 2 in her. Do the old Mozambique. There we go. I'd like to know who I'm talking to. There, your channel? There we go. There we go. Bob's your uncle. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to stretch again a little bit. I'm probably cold, huh? I'll do some quick horseshoe squats and just do a little bit of stretching, and then I'll just get to kicking. Because that's what I came back online for. All right, here we go. Top chat. We're gonna go live chat. Igor says, "Gay as fuck." Your love is gonna have to remain unrequited, Igor, because I'm a married man with kids. But I really appreciate the offer. Thank you. Hey, just so you know, Igor's gay and he's looking for love. So if any of you out there want to hook up, his name is. Where'd you go, buddy? I lost you. Igor, are you Russian? Igor? It is Igor, it is. Belarusian. My sister is number one hooker. Let's see what Igor looks like. We're going to go to his channel. Igor. Hope you got a picture. Igor, come on. You shouldn't be leveraging that criticism to anybody, buddy. Let's see here. Glad to have you, though. So, Igor, what if I was gay? As fuck as you say. What would be the problem with that? What would be your issue? Just saying Floyd Mayweather can't do anything if he gets hit once by that. By what? Eddie Hall's punch was equivalent to horse kick. Okay, Floyd Mayweather versus Eddie Hall. It's like, get him out of here. Chris Gregory. Warhammer. Fuck yeah, man. I love Warhammer. Brandon Billett had messages deleted by Smart Gamer. Let's see what profound wisdom Brandon was trying to share with us. Predator? Okay. You're a Predator. Oh, he's got a... I'm going to go ahead and... I'm going to report him just because he's talking about my daughter. So we're going to report Brandon Billett. That's a line. I don't... When you start talking about my kids or my family... let's see. We're going to say... not child abuse. They don't have pedophilia, pornography, sexually explicit material, hate speech, harassment, or bullying. Let's see, child abuse. Report. All right. Hide user on my channel. Fuck off, Brandon. May you die in a fire. I don't... You guys can say whatever you want about me. I really don't care. Just leave my kids and my family out of it. Like, fuck off, you know what I mean? Like, see you, Brandon. You'll be missed. He made a comment earlier, but the fact that he actually went out of his way to come back and just say the same thing, I don't respect anybody that doesn't have their photo. Like, at least Igor backs his shit up with a picture of himself, so we can all see what a fucking voracious stud that guy is. Talking shit. Like, hey, bro. Alright, I'm not dealing with it. Get him out of here. Sorry, Jen. I was researching. Back to footwork. How many whole chickens do you eat a day at 51? I don't eat any. I have 30 chickens, like live ones. And I eat probably 12. Nah, not that many. I go through phases where I eat a lot of eggs. Oh, fuck off. You know what? My laptop just restarted. Yeah, I think I can use my TV here. Hold on here. Let me get the rib out. I just can't see the chat. I can't see it on my phone. It's too small. My sweet little piece of shit. Where's history? There we go. I am. Yeah. All right. So connecting to live chat. Nice. Bam. All right. I can read that. Somebody say something. Tell me I'm gay. That's really profound. That's a singer. That's a mic drop, right? You're gay. Haha, got him. I'm funny. Well, to be honest with you, these are actually Muay Thai shorts, but they are pretty gay. I really can't defend that. Whether or not anyone likes or dislikes female custodians, I hate Games Workshop lied and said they were always a thing. Yeah, they're bullshit. I don't like Games Workshop either. I think they're a bunch of progressive assholes that are trying to ruin a hobby that a lot of people... They hate their customers. Like, are you fucking retarded? Like, they're pandering to people that don't even play. Oh, goddamn, this piece of shit. I need to get a different phone stand, because this one doesn't stand in there very That's this otter case. It likes to pop out. All right, here we go. Yeah, dude. I drew a. If you look at my, I have a playlist called Warhammer and Friends, and I drew what I think a female custodian should look like. Um, Check it out. Tell me what you think. Uh, she's not wearing much armor. Somebody's like, I want to protect her in a real fight. I'm like, it's not a real thing. It's a make-believe person. I'm sorry you think it's real. People get like ideologically possessed about the most retarded shit. You see, like people that are rabid sports fans are willing to like kick your ass if you like say talk shit about their team, and then those are the same people that are like, I fucking hate religious people because they're too aggressive. I'm like, all right. I mean, that's called idol worship. You get these conversations online where they're talking about Warhammer, and they think the Lord is really cool, but these guys are like living it, like it's real. They're passionate about it. That's cool, man. I'm not telling anybody but I don't know. Like, when does it become too much? You know. There we go. 5255. We can become ideologically possessed by anything, and I mean, basically, that is idol worship. So there's a lot of hobbies I enjoy, but I can't. I literally watched these two guys get in a fight. This guy says, "Oh man, I love Eddie Van Halen. He's the best guitarist of all time." And the other guy sitting next to him was like, "Fucking Van Halen's fags." And they started fighting. I'm like, you don't have to like the same thing I like. It's a weird thing to fight about. Do you know Eddie personally? It's cool that you're defending his honor, but would he do the same for you? I was at a Chargers game back in the day when it was at Jack Murphy Stadium. Now it's Qualcomm, and the Raiders came into town. I forgot where we're at. We're just sitting there, and these Raiders fans came in and they're like, we're gonna fuck you up this weekend. And I was like, whoa, that's aggressive. I said, what position do you play? Like, he just stared at me. He didn't know what to do with that. Like, yeah, I don't actually play for the Chargers, so it's okay. I mean, I like watching them, but we're not that attached to this. I gotta clean this garage. Smart Gamer, I need you to fly out here and help me out. I gotta organize this shit. My sweet Clementine. Well, I guess I don't need it just to stretch. I'm gonna do a quick warm up again, just because I'm old. What I really like is doing these horseshoe squats. Now, the thing about these is you want to kind of try to get your feet as straight as possible, and over time you want to work your hips out. The idea is you want to stay upright as much as possible, and these really stretch the hips. Bam, bam, bam. We'll really get those feet turned out. And then from there, you can kind of get your elbows in your knees, the knee pocket. Just really work your hips out. Like if you don't have much time to stretch, this is a really good one. Fucking flip over and wind up in the hospital. Stretches the hamstring out. And the rectus femoris. Are you rectum? What are you talking about, boy? That's the long quad attaches at the iliac crest, and it's a really hard one to work out, but it kind of controls this motion. And when you're doing quad exercises, that's really hard to hit that muscle. Ooh. Yeah, so feel that right here. And then as I stretch down, the leg as straight as possible. And it just stretches the fucking hamstrings, man. A lot of powerlifters have super tight hamstrings. Ooh. Ah. Let's see. Man, my balance is shit today. Whoa. Ah, fuck. You can do these on the floor too if you have a problem doing them standing. Basically, we'll try to straighten up. God damn it. Some days I have it, some days I don't. So you can do them on the floor. Just try to straighten your leg out. Just push against your arm and pull. Just kind of try to stretch that. And then you're going to bring it here. And then just do sit-ups. Pull that back right there. Oh yeah, baby. I gotta be careful because I actually hurt this one a while ago. I'm not gonna go a little easier on it. Whew. Whoa, a little busy there. You know, most guys my age can't even put their shoes on standing up. Alright. Let's try this piece of shit one more time. Like, you know, something that's a lot of guys can't do is just simply just touch the ground, you know, with their legs straight. I get my hands under here, and then from here I like to pull up on the back and arch, so I'm actually forcing my way up, and it's good back stretch. And then another thing a lot of older people have trouble with is like going to the ground, like on their knees, you know, and then a lot of people can't then reverse that. Even I have problems with the reversing. I used to be able to just hop up from there. That's a little trouble. This is a good exercise I think to bulletproof the knees with. You simply lean back and put all your weight as far as you can go. Most people can't go that far. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. Let's see what it is. I think my brain won't let me. It's scared. Oh, shit. I have to practice that a few times. If you could do that, if you could just roll back and pop up, that's like you doing a pistol squat, you know. A lot of people can't do those either. I have a problem going all the way down. Oh. like one side's easier than the other. Bring it out here. It's always good to become proficient at those. Anything that challenges your balance. And with guys my age, it's kind of use it or lose it. So why did this fucking thing shut off? It's got good battery power. Alright, let's get some bag work in. We're not talking about your mom either. Here we go. Alright, we're back. Joseph Marker, do you have any advice for... Oh, your comment disappeared. CB bro, da fuck, are you in Thailand or something? No, I'm in Las Vegas. Trying to tell me, yes, I love him, and you know how to touch a man. Oh, I have that effect. Let's see here. How do you feel about ladyboys? I'm ambivalent. I mean, get him where you fit in, I guess. So what I generally look for in a woman is the smallest percentage of penis as possible. Generally. Let's see. I was actually imagining myself flying out from there. Dude, come on out, man. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to die, but I don't want people to call him a good man. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't want to see people call him a good man? Wait, am I misreading you? Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to die, but I don't want to see people call him a good man. I need to have a conversation with you offline because I have a feeling we disagree about a lot of things. Now, unlike many people on the progressive side of the aisle, I won't stop being your friend just because we disagree. But I have a feeling. Bug, straight up nuttin'. I'm not sure what that means, but cool. Yeah, Jen stretching for Muay Thai takes forever. I'm fucking old. When you guys get to be my age, I doubt you're gonna be able to do the splits in two directions. Bro has bigger hamstrings and quads. No, none of my quads get pretty big, but I haven't been doing squatting for the last few months because of my surgery. I do in bed. It's an amazing way to track the back. Hell yeah. Viewership is going up. That's good. How do you feel about ladyboys? Call them, okay. I'm not in Thailand. So what? I was trying to see what C's coming. How do you feel about ladyboys? Okay, that's your comment. I don't give a fuck about ladyboys. I mean, like, I was asking if you have any advice for wrist pain. That's the comment I was. Pressing movement. So one thing you could try is switching to false grip, which is not wrapping your thumbs around the bar. I did false grip for the better part of like 7 or 8 years, and I then switched to regular grip because I enhanced my technique and was able to get more power out of it. But the thing about false grip is it puts the bar right over your wrist, so it takes your hand out of it. So a lot of people hold it and they get this going on. Well, if you put the bar right over your wrist, so now you're just pushing it like a linebacker. And people say, well, that's unsafe. Like, how? I never dropped the barbell and fucking... I dropped the barbell more with my new grip than I did with that grip. Plus, you have safeties, right, on your bench. So if you drop it, ideally... but I would need to know more about your wrist pain. I'd have to get more context. I can't just really give advice on something unless I know more about it. Full videos of what? All right, I don't really want to get into this conversation right now. Yesterday, my stream got hijacked by geopolitics, which I don't mind talking about. I don't look at society. How much longer do you plan to keep lifting for? If I can get back to where I was in March, where I was stronger than I've ever been, and I can compete at a high level and take the national records and possibly get into the Hall of Fame, I might keep going, but if I can't, I think I'm gonna hang. Well, I keep saying that. I always say I'm gonna hang it up, and I watch somebody do something, I might get the bug for it. But there's other things I want to try. Oh, Lance Corporal 0311 Haywood Pittman. Hoorah! Got a grunt. Adam, Jesus loves you. I didn't need you to tell me that, but thank you. I was a Charlie Kirk fan. Now, I've seen some of his comments taken out of context, but do you lose any strength after switching to false grip? It's possible to lose strength anytime you make a change, but the body should adapt fairly quickly. A lot of people are afraid to make changes because their ego can't handle that dip in strength, and that doesn't necessarily mean you'll have one. But if you do it anyways. Like if you're gonna do something that's gonna benefit you in the long run, it sucks. Sometimes we'll make changes and it does. Like if you switch from sumo to conventional or whatever, or vice versa, you initially have that adaptation portion, but most people after a while they're actually stronger for having made the change all around. Let's see, Sergeant 1371. Hell yeah, we got some grunts in the house. I was in artillery. I'm a fucking proud ass pogue. I call it artillery tech support. Thank you for calling artillery. How may I help you? Press 1 for HE. Press 2 for point delay. Press 3 for white phosphorus. Press 4 for illumination. Press 4. Would you like a star pattern? Please press 1 for I'm trying to eat low carbs. Is it okay? I mean, I don't know. Like, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? I understand what you mean. However, there were more benefits back in the negative. For example, fathers in homes with example divorce basically non-existent. Now women married government. Yeah, pretty much ever since they made where our country fucking went in the shitter is when they came up with no fault divorce or whatever they call that shit, where you can just like, and then they started paying women to be single. Like it's fuck. I don't even want to get into it. Like normally it'll derail my stream and I'll talk about it, but I don't. I did that yesterday and it's like fuck, man. So you're eating low carbs for weight loss. I would need more context. I don't know how heavy you are, how much weight you're trying to lose, what your diet is, how many calories you're eating, do you work out, how long you've been dieting. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of, generally speaking, most people don't do low carb properly, so they don't get the benefits they should out of it. I like to do intermittent fasting, and I fucking live off of fucking ice cream and Pop-Tarts, I'm walking around at 11% body fat, but I've also been in the same weight class for like 10 years, so I've been pretty dialed in. It's pretty easy to maintain my weight. Those were not more benefits back then. Let me see here. Instead of marrying a husband, there were not more benefits back then? No, you were right, but you could say those benefits were used to, they enticed people to make choices that were bad for them. I mean, there's the science, if you want to say, is really fucking clear after how many years that kids that grow up in a traditional family house with a mother and father do way better in every aspect of their life than single parent home. And that's not even arguable. Black people couldn't climb up the economic ladder because of redlining. This is true, but something you got to keep in mind is you can't speak for an entire population for the zoning practices of a few cities. And we have a tendency to put everybody in a box based on immutable attributes. Like all white people are this. I mean, for example, you could blame me for slavery, but my fucking family didn't move over to the United States until after World War II. So it's like, the fuck you talking about? Here's your fucking reparations, I don't owe you shit. Your life's not my fault, and mine's none of your business, bitch. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. Redline, and the effects are heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, it's a horrible thing, and it's a horrible history, but I caution you to not assume it was like that everywhere. I mean, it was worse in some places. There's that. Hi, Simeon. Jesus loves you. I didn't really need you to tell me that, but thank you. Drive 15 minutes to another time, and it's infuriating. Bridgeport, Connecticut, and River Line affects her. But like, how does it affect you, though? I'm just curious. Because a lot of people, they'll take up the championing of a cause that didn't affect them, and they don't really have anything to do with. So, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you do push-ups. Not really. I used to do a lot of them. Now I lift heavy weights. Thank you for your service, boss. May I test? At least want to tell you that. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. So I am a Christian. But I caution people to, if they're going to legitimately be disciples, like, pick the appropriate location. It's hijacking someone's stream is not that. So I usually shut that down for you. Because meaning property tax, I know what redlining is. I don't know how to get into this. All right, I'm going to kick this bag a little. So, since I got my bicep surgery, I'm only allowed to do crosses. But I've got two hands. Where's my other wrap? I guess I could use an old school one. I gotta clean my garage. So I got these I spray painted approximate. This is my neck, solar plexus, tenders, kidneys, organs. I love throwing teeps and one of the things I like to do is I'll do it. So one of the things I want to work on is ever since I lost 30, how much did I weigh? I was 230 and I lost 30 pounds and I'm now at the age of 51 kind of able to jump like I used to, but I don't quite have the coordination to do kicks where I leave my feet. So when I've been practicing, like stuff like, teeps like, or you get your kick, if you're and the knees can't handle it. Where's my wrap? We'll go old school. And I want to start hitting hard. I've got the clearance to start hitting the heavy bag again. And it's been about, how many months has it been since I really trained? I'm 51. No, right now I'm probably about 206 pounds. I got these speed wraps. Lazy. Coach hates them. But we spar with 16-ounce gloves, so it's like fucking pillows. They still hurt though, because some of my pops are pretty good. Back downhill. Okay, so cushion across y'all. What's up, sweetheart?
Oh, are you guys?
Yep.
Oh. I'll come and get.
You're gonna. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be on for.
Probably not.
I wanted to do some what the what's it called? I forgot what my equipment's called. Focus mitts.
Mom says I have bedtime a little bit, and I've got Chantal on the phone right now.
All right. All right. My fucking heavy, slow, old ass. Let's see, this will be a head that's about what, 6'5"? It's about, I got a badass axe kick if I can get off my feet. But what happens is when you've been stuck to the ground for so long, the mind has a mechanism that's like an override you have to overcome. It's a fear thing where you think you're going to fuck your knees up and it won't let you do moves. Let's see, gotta just stay the most root problem. Oh, you ripped. Thanks, Corey. Shape of my life. Age is just a number. Lifter Dave. Yeah, man. I just want to keep it going as long as I can. I mean, who knows how much time I have left, but there's still things I want to do, you know? I feel like life caught up to me, you know? It's like, I'm 51. Like, what the fuck happened? I don't feel like I'm any wiser. I'm just older. Again, later in a year or two, I'm going to publish Slam. It's my new version of DEI and affirmative action. Smart Gamer, you're my friend, and I'm gonna tell you right now, like I will never stop being friends with somebody because we differ politically. I just have a feeling you and I are gonna disagree about a few things, which is okay. I'm gonna try to convince you. Do you primarily do Muay Thai striking? Yeah, so I used to do kickboxing, and then I did boxing, and now I'm doing Muay Thai, and I really love it. I love the clinch. It's just fun. I got a purple band. I've been training a little, about 2 years. There's a gym here in Vegas called One Kicks. It's Nick Blomgren. He was a K1 back when it was badass. He's got a couple UFC guys there. We have another gym. It's called Syndicate. A bunch of UFC fighters train there, and we go back and forth. So there's a couple different. Our gym is let me grab my shorts here. I'm so proud of my shorts. I get to wear these when I get beat up. We're the Las Vegas USMTA headquarters, so the guys actually come over from the Philippines to train there. It's also a boxing and Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, which I don't. They tell me I should do Jiu-Jitsu to be well-rounded. I don't want to fucking do it. I just don't. I don't want to fucking roll around the ground with another dude. I just don't want to fucking do it. I get it's a skill you probably should learn. Jarhead's in the house. We have McMaps, right? I mean, good enough. You know how to stuff a takedown? Fuck that. I like fighting in the ring. It's fun. I don't care about self-defense. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to fucking wrestle anymore. I go, yeah. Men are sweaty. Too very dirty. What's your favorite strike to throw? Honestly, so I love my favorite strike. So I love hooks, but I can't throw them because of my surgery. But and I have normally when I'm at strength. Like when I was in March, I was squatting 600 pounds for reps, and with a little technique, dude, I could fucking end a fight with one kick. You give me especially if you let me hit you in the ribs. But my biggest one, the one where I always caught the young kids off guard, because I only had about 30 seconds to get them before they got my timing and everything down, and I was just gonna get my ass beat. Because let's face it, they're better. Plus, I only have about 2 or maybe 3 rounds in me before I'm done. I don't have the lungs, especially when I'm training for powerlifting. Now, if I think if I just dedicate all my time to Muay Thai, I'd probably improve that. But I just don't. You gas out. I'd either get them right away with old man treachery, or it's not going to end well. But I still love it. I didn't care. We were just having fun. And they would always say like they were always fucking super impressed by my speed. They said, "Wow, you're fucking old. We never saw that coming." And I also have this. I like to throw kicks, but then I'll have one where it's like I got an axe kick, or I can kind of come over, and they just don't. I'll pop that over their head, and they just don't see that coming. And I'm really good at like in and out, so like closing distance. But my favorite one is I like to get in and just play on it. I'm rusty, but I was throwing. It's a 160-pound bag. I just love hooks. Like normally, I can't do it with this arm, but I throw a mean left. I'm just gonna. I know I feel like I'm rusty, but it doesn't feel right. I want to see 51-year-old talent. So, what I was gonna work on was like I want to be able to like come off my feet. So the problem with that is I have to really put my waist into it if it's gonna be anything meaningful. So, that's another little one that I like to do. That's a savate kick, so that's called a sachet. What we like to do is we'll keep them, and then we'll come up with a head like that, and a little snap, and it gets them pretty good. And then you can just come in and clinch them up. And then of course, you got my Rogan one, where it's like, there you go. That I feel really off balance. Oh shit. Get a couple here. Hip in there. Switch is off balance too. I'm rusty as fuck. That's the one I want to get going, is a roundhouse. I'm way off balance. I'll get that back though. Normally, so those kicks I was throwing at the midsection, I hit them hard. Snap on them. Affirmative action. What do I think about affirmative action? I'm against it. Anytime you take meritocracy out of any civilization, you're basically putting preference of one group of people over another, and you're doing two things. So you're taking an entire population of people and you're judging them based on an immutable attribute, the color of their skin, not knowing a thing about them, and you're using it to offset. Here's the thing. So we would look at companies where they had to have like equal representation of, we'll say, colored people. And I said, well, you got 6 white guys and only 4 colored people. I'm like, well, yeah, because white people are 60% of the population, dipshit. That's fucking equal representation, right? Well, that's not fair. Well, honestly, it shouldn't be based on that anyways. It should be the best person for the job. And they're like, why do you predict against racism? I don't fucking know. Kill him? Since when are companies supposed to be the moral arbiters of society? It's like, what it says is it's a lot of entitlement. Like, you were not ever a slave and I was never a slave owner. And it's a lot of presumptuous bullshit. And I don't really like the argument that we're responsible for the sins of our forefathers because, like I said, my family didn't come over to fucking America until after World War II. And they tried to make an argument where, oh, it doesn't matter because, well, it doesn't matter because what? Well, English from the slave trade. Well, first of all, asshole, how did they get sold into the fucking slavery to begin with? You don't want to talk about that, but why not? Talking about like returning the land that we live in to the indigenous people, like which tribe? Because one of them conquered the other, and it kind of goes back about, which one? Just go back to the Mexicans, or does it go back to the Cherokee? Does it go back to the, what's the one that got run out? But they don't want to answer those questions. They only go surface deep. They look at the most, basically water level arguments, like, my sister, she stopped talking to me because she's what I like to call is a wine glass communist. People that have never had to struggle in their life, and she married an officer, and they just, all the wives sit on the hill and dictate how they're gonna fix the dispossessed of our country because they know better. And she says that voter ID is racist. Okay, well, tell me more. Why? Why is it racist? She's about to say the most racist thing I ever fucking heard. Well, because people of color, they don't have access to services like whites. Oh, really? Like what? Oh, they can't just go down and... What? You can't... What are you fucking talking about? They can't get food stamps. If your argument is they're all on food stamps, you can't get that shit without fucking ID, and they'll help you get it, dumbass. Like, how the fuck... It makes my head hurt. And then the second you try to explore where their beliefs come from, because most of them don't even understand what they're espousing. I've thought their fucking ideas more than they have, because I did all of my college studies on, communism, Eastern Bloc, the October Revolution when the Bolsheviks took power. I've got Marx, I've got Engels, I've got, Nietzsche, I got, what's that dumb bitch's name? Alexander Solzhenitsyn, I got his works, I got, I read a bunch of shit. And, they don't know fucking history, they don't know anything about it. You bring up the fact that, like the Cultural Revolution in China and Russia, consequently, when they kill kulaks, what they say, they're responsible for millions of deaths. And they're like, wow, I don't know anything about that. Of course you don't, dumbass. And if you look at like what's going on in our country, like they tried to use class, the proletariat versus the bourgeois, and it didn't work because after World War II, our economy was so good that you could support yourself on a menial fucking factory job. Grandpa worked at the factory for 40 years and he retired in a mansion and left all his money to his kids. It's like, yeah, that was the American dream. We had it for a while. So what did they have? They had to use something else. Race, gender. If you look at the LGBT flag, the LGBT flag is slowly adding to it. And what it is, it's like your ticket that says you're part of the movement. It's the state religion. And if you read Marx, if you read Engels, it's literally the playbook of how to propagate the revolution. The revolution needs to tear down everything that came before us, religion, history, everything, all culture, the family. They definitely want to tear the family out for sure. Anything that's related to the culture needs to be eradicated. That's why you can't reason with them, because there's nothing to reason. And the LGBT flag is that's your admission to the party. They have a gender for fucking straight people. A gender party for people that like the opposite sex. What? You're fucking straight. No. No, no, no. Because saying you're straight is not saying you're part of the movement. You're not an ally. You have to identify as one of those colors on the flag. That's how you ally yourself. That's the state religion. As an example, Charlie Kirk brought that front and center. Now, whether he was a perfect man or not, I can tell you right now, he was the only one that was bringing awareness. But not the only one. But we've been saying the same thing for years. You know, back in 2005, I started watching Dr. Jordan Peterson, and he brought cultural Marxism to my attention, and I started reading up on that. And that's when I was in the university. I mean, it was blatant. But every time I brought it up, they told me I was fucking nuts. Oh, they'll grow out of it. Once they get older and they start making money, they'll grow out of that shit. Well, they're not. They didn't. Now look where we're at. The one thing that we have going for us is that there's enough people in this country. So one of the things that the progressives don't understand, because everybody's in their little bubbles of social media, is they think conservatives are a fringe extremist group that just exists on the outskirts of society. We're like roving death patrols of fucking pickup trucks full of rednecks and shotguns. We're just going out killing all the colored folks. Oh, you know, like, okay. No, we're 55, 60, 70% of the country, dipshit. That just, it just doesn't, they don't fucking compute. And there's enough of us that are still standing against it that there's a bulwark. But we're getting older, man. We're not going to be around forever. And let's face it, the younger generations are not learning shit in school. My son, half of his fucking class cannot read, and he's 13 years old. That's un-fucking believable. They don't even teach phonics anymore. What the fuck? They teach the kids to memorize the word. So they see cat. They don't know how to sound the word out. They memorize the word cat. So if there's another word that sounds like that, they don't know the meaning of it. It's like they lose the ability to take context out of something. Like they can't take context clues out of a sentence and basically suss the meaning out. You know, you can look at a sentence, you don't understand a word, you can read the whole sentence and kind of get an idea of what that word is. Like recidivism. You know, 91% of criminals have recidivism, or let's see, 91%. What does that mean? They probably go back to jail. So recidivism has something like to do with repeat offending. Yeah. So they don't know that shit. They're not teaching it. They don't teach history. They don't know how to read. They can't do fucking math. They can do cash register math. It's unbelievable, and all of that is the whole No Child Left Behind was to basically alienate the parents from the system because we couldn't adapt to their way of learning. So my kids, they don't go to those schools. We pulled them and we put them in schools where they're basically teaching shit. Demonic, damn, I'm just Scandinavian Welsh French, Cherrick Blackfoot Hill, yeah, no, and I truly believe that the left is demonic. Now, our leftists demonic, are people that are Democrats demonic. No, I think that a lot of them don't understand what it is they're attached to, and I think most people on the left are just like most people on the right. We just want to support our families and live a peaceful life, and I would encourage people to try to understand their opposition because they won't give you the same courtesy. A lot of them won't share civil discourse, and a lot of them want to commit violence, and they've been indoctrinated to do so. For many years, all they've seen on social media in their little bubbles, and it's happening to Republicans or conservatives too, is social media only shows you the worst of your opposition. So you wind up thinking that all of them are these fucking nut jobs that want to shoot everybody, when it's actually a really small percentage. But it is absolutely true that most of the violence is propagated from the left. And they say, well, the right had more gun violence and statistics. I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't believe that. But second of all, how can you fucking say that with a straight face when all the fucking riots where they destroyed billions of dollars of property, they took over a fucking city and they tried to burn police officers in it while they're in the building? Like, I've seen the videos. How can anybody say that with a straight face? And they talk about the November 7th riots or whatever at the Capitol. What were they? The previous one, when they burned half of fucking D.C. down, did that not get coverage on TV? Because that was way worse than what happened when we took off, or when that one happened. It's just unbelievable. But therein lies the answer. So, really, what it is the media is controlling a narrative that wants us to be pitted against each other. So they're making people that disagree with you your enemy. Now, I'm an individualist. I don't say I'm a conservative. I don't say I'm a Democrat. I will not align myself with any of those. I did vote for Trump. I would say I support him, but he's a populist, and I have my problems with him. I don't idolize anybody. I don't put anybody on a pedestal. I don't believe that there's any way you could vote hard enough to get out of this trouble. I think everybody has a responsibility to protect their rights um, and defend the Constitution, which is one of the most cherished documents underneath the Bible, I think. Um, it's by some luck that we have created the most free and prosperous society that ever existed, and we're just going to sell it cheaply. The government is long past representing the people, and what do we do? But I don't know. But like, what most people can do is get involved at the level where your laws are enforced, which is the local level. You know, your neighborhoods. Go meet your neighbors. You know, how many people live in a neighborhood where they've never met their neighbors or talked to them, or they've never gone to a town hall? I mean, my wife's gone to a couple, and she's got the laws changed. The school, she got people were speeding, and she went down to one, and the next day they had a cop there. I know because he pulled me over. You could laugh about it. But we get involved at the local level. We try to take care of our own because that's where most of the things that are going to affect you are going to happen at that level. Maybe, I mean, there's no way some asshole in D.C. is going to, you know, by design, our government is a gridlock, and not much can be done because of that. And that's a good thing because you don't want any president to just be able to run riot and change laws like they would want to, if you think about it. And you know, it protects us. You know, you all the leftists that are terrified that he's in office, they'll see after 4 years not much got done, just like last term. Some good. And then, you know, when Biden took office, we were terrified that he was going to turn us communist and sell us all to China. You know, we had some shit going on, but nothing really happened, right? They moved the needle in the wrong direction. We moved the needle a little bit in the right direction, and now we're in a weird place where everybody's a sex offender and nobody knows the truth, and there's fucking aliens underwater, and like, I don't know, like, people ask me, what do you think about this? I'm like, my head hurts, and my groceries are really expensive, so I'm gonna go smash my face into something until the voices go away. You know, that's my opinion. So just if you get a chance, check out my Quora. I used to mostly Second Amendment stuff. I would call it witty banter, sarcastic commentary, and I'm going to start writing again. So I haven't written in a while, but people liked my writing. It was a little rough around the edges. I use is and or is and are wrong sometimes, or things like that. But I got a cadence and diction that usually gets a good laugh out of people. I have a way of putting things that are, it's like a sarcasm that really gets the ire from the opposition and gets a good laugh out of people. So check it out. I got a link on it on my page if you want to check that out. I haven't written anything in about 2 years. I kind of gave up after Biden won the election. I was like, I'm done with this shit. But nothing's going to change. Fuck it. Take all our guns, you asshole. But I think I'm going to start writing again because there's like, I want to write about just the absurdity of it all. Just the fucking absurdity of it all. And the things that we've become so goddamn conditioned to that most of us are apathetic to it. And if this shit would have happened like when Reagan was president, let's say, we would have all been losing our minds. But now we're like, fucking drones are surrounding Air Force bases, hunting nuclear missiles, whatever. Hey, China might nuke us tomorrow. That's great. Yeah, like, well, Putin's, he probably won't do it. Like, can you imagine this shit happening in the fucking 90s? Like, are you kidding me? Scary beast from the east. Let's see what profound wisdom you were trying to put on us here. Let's see, you got messages. I'm a Naval SEAL. Is she back in the SEALs now? You were a Marine earlier. You're to the Marines what a cow would be to the birds if he was born in a tree, if that makes sense. I worked on that one a little bit. I don't know if it's funny, but it's true. 10 tomorrow we need to talk about politics. Yeah, so it needs to be one or the other, brother. You know, I got just after yesterday we were talking about geopolitics, and I just got to thinking after I got off the stream. I was like, good lord. And then I went to the store and I bought $50 worth of groceries, and it cost me $125. And I was like, what the fuck did I buy? Smart Gamer, tomorrow we need to get your mod status taken away. That'll never happen. Actually, I don't even know why you want to be a mod, to be honest with you. I mean, like, I don't know what it does for people, but I don't know. Yeah, I have a problem with you. Charlie, please don't message me. We don't like each other. I don't believe I've ever tried to message you. I don't think I would try to message you. I don't even think I know how to try to message you, to be honest with you. Generally speaking, I don't think about you not even a full second more than it takes for me to log off. As soon as I turn that button off, you're gone from my memory, brother. And I don't remember you until you get on again. You just talked to him? I did? I don't know. Smart gamer, we talk all the time. Yeah, he calls me on the phone. You think about me all day, every day. Not even a little. All right. You don't know, that's not true. So every once in a while, like, I'll check the toilet just to see if, like, a really hard one's going to flush properly, and I'll look at that and I'll be like, that reminds me of somebody. Some naval guy out of the Pentagon. I don't remember. What's his name? Yeah. Dominic, don't you ever massage him. All right, on that note, I'm gonna get the fuck offline. Like, I can't trade when we talk about this shit because it's like my little soapbox. I'm like, here it is. Like, fucking shut up, leave it alone. Can't do it. I have too much to say, and I usually don't offer my opinion because you know how it is when you're in real life and you hear people talk about politics. And you're like, oh Lord, listen to these fucking idiots. Like one watches CNN and the other one's like, well, I don't like Fox News because I'm like, oh Lord, this is gonna be profound. You know. Did you hear Trump wants to take your Social Security away? Yeah, he's a Nazi. Oh, good. Everybody's now dumber for having listened to you two. Could you please keep it down, fatso? And then after you're done with your mobility cart parking it, you walk perfectly fine to your fucking minivan with your 3 tubs of mint ice cream. You have 4 gallons there. Ugh, I can't stand it. My God. Freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee. If you don't pay your $1.05, who will? Yeah. He says he's from the Pentagon. Who's full of it? I probably know for sure I am. Lifter Dave. Absolutely. But what makes you so special? Oh, well, no, I'm definitely full of it. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I can never tell if they're talking to me or not. I just assume they are. I don't get mad, though. I wish FDR was... Are you a fucking... Okay. Isn't your mom like an immigrant from another country? Where are you guys from, Smart Gamer? Fuck these guys. I live in Steven. Semper Fi, brother. Born here. Yeah, well, I said, where's your mom from? Semper Fi, bro. You know, if you know, you know. Brazil. Okay, so they're not really. They have their problems now, but probably the time she moved over, they were probably okay. They're definitely moving in the wrong direction. I don't know, but like a lot of people that immigrate here from, we'll say socialist or some form of collectivism, they actually cherish freedom. And some of the things you're saying are giving me great concern about your political leanings, which I don't judge you for, but I just wonder like where you're getting these ideas from. Because FDR was like, he did a lot of this. Well, he did good and bad. Let's just put it this way. A presidency that grants more powers to the executive branch and takes rights away from the population. I mean, you could say that he saved us from the Great Depression, but I was like, I don't think the World War II thing. Like, there's an argument to say that, like, we had our moment with the, what was it, the George Bush, the dumbass one from Texas, the Patriot Act. Yeah, God, I mean, it all started with Thomas Jefferson and the fucking Elastic Clause. That's the reason why we had Obamacare, for fuck's sake. We did. I did. My wife, when she was going to school, she did a paper on that, and we were directly able to tie the ability to push Obamacare back to Thomas Jefferson and the Elastic Clause. You have any Hell Week stories from back in the day? Hell Week. I don't really call it that with the Marine Corps boot camp, but maybe you see, I don't know. I always talk to these vets that are like, especially like older vets, like Vietnam era and stuff. And they're like, "Oh, my boot camp was harder than yours." I'm like, "Boot camp? What the fuck are you talking about? Like that was 13 weeks. What'd you do after that, dumbass? Like, who gives a fuck about boot camp?" What's my issue with FDR? Well, he moved us quite a bit farther towards socialism. I mean, I don't know. That's hard to argue that. Did you lose some of your bicep? No, I had it reattached and it needs to grow bigger now. You want communism or fascism? Fuck, I don't want either, but we're actually really close. If you look in the Encyclopedia Italiana, written by Benito Mussolini, we do kind of fit the description of fascism as written by him, with the way that business and government are intertwined. And we are a lot more socialist than a lot of socialist countries. And I would argue that I would want to take care of people that can't take care of themselves, especially being as prosperous as we are. But I am vehemently anti-collectivist. I say this. Pinochet didn't do a lot of good things, but he had a way of handling communists that I agree with. You like helicopter rides? Democracy, democracy is an interim form of government. It's mob rule, tyranny of the mob. So the 52% can rule the 48. Democracy always devolves into another form of government. You would say that when they overthrew the Tsar in 1916, 17, that was an interim democracy. I mean, it wasn't long before a populist established himself, as they do, because people look for leadership. And what do you know? It was the Bolsheviks. Ta-da! You got communism. Now, but you look historically at true democracies, I don't think there's ever been one that's been successful. It always turns into either like some sort of populist tyranny, or what I mean, like some sort of cult of personality takes over. Which is why America is a republic under the rule of law. Now, we have features of a democracy, but God, I would fucking hate to have mob rule. Could you imagine 49% being told what to do by 51 in this country? Oh Lord, it'd be fucking anarchy, But luckily we are representative government where they vote on behalf of the populace, which they're supposed to do, but really don't. They vote more on behalf of, what do they call those assholes? Fucking lobbyists. And Anito Gramsci, plays good friends with Mussolini, was a rival. This sounds really familiar. Yeah, I will. That's what caused the Great Depression, because of lack of regulation and intervention. On that note, I'm gonna let go of this one. All right. You have much to learn, young Padawan. You're not wrong, smart gamer. I just don't think that you have the whole picture. And I'm glad that you're thinking about these things, though. It's not, honestly, it's not unusual for younger guys to be a little bit more on the progressive side. It's idealistic. It's on the surface, it's got a hope to it that just sounds like you're on the right side of history. But if you look back at history and you look at all the systems of government that enshrine that, it's been nothing but death and misery. And the only reason why America hasn't gone down that road is because we have the Constitution and we're fucking armed to the tooth. Yeah, baby. Over my dead buddy. All right, I gotta get out of here, guys. I love y'all. I'll see you on the battlefield. I'm glad I got back online. That was fun. I still didn't fucking get a workout in. Oh well, sometimes it's better to talk.